Engender is Scotland's feminist membership organisation. We asked Scotland's major political parties what they would do for women's equality in Scotland. Here's Nicola Sturgeon, leader of the Scottish National Party.
Engender's manifesto for Holyrood 2016 calls for a range of measures to advance gender equality in Scotland. What concrete policy measures would you introduce over the next Parliament to advance gender equality?
Women are increasingly visible in public life, and that's a good thing, but we need to break down barriers even further and ensure that women have equal opportunities and receive equal pay for their work. If I'm re-elected as First Minister, one of the things I will do is appoint an advisory council on women and girls to advise on further action to tackle workplace and occupational segregation. To address gender inequality in the workplace, we'll take action to break down gender stereotypes, address gender imbalances in apprenticeships, and encourage more young women to study science, technology, engineering and maths. We'll also help experienced women return to their previous careers after a break by piloting returnships, a successful initiative from the US which allows women to update their skills and knowledge and employers to retain skilled staff. We'll continue to tackle the underrepresentation of women in leadership roles, and we're committed to legislation to ensure 50-50 gender balance in public sector boardrooms by 2020. We'll also continue to encourage organisations in the private and third sectors to commit to workforce diversity, sign up to the Business Pledge and join the Partnership for Change campaign to set a commitment for gender balance in their boardrooms of 50-50 by 2020. While the gender pay gap has decreased, it's still a scandal that in the 21st century such a gap continues to exist at all. In the next Parliament we will require all public bodies with more than 20 employees to publish more information on their pay gap, and an SNP government will consider a system of penalties for local councils that haven't settled outstanding equal pay claims or councils that are still not paying equal pay by April 2017.
There are opportunities to improve women's social security with new powers coming into the Scottish Parliament. One specific issue which women in Scotland are concerned about is equal access to universal credit. Will you support individual payments of universal credit as a standard payment structure?
Yes, we will. With new powers over social security, we'll also ensure that for those who want it, payments can be made fortnightly instead of monthly, and we'll allow payments to be made to social landlords directly. These are clear areas where pilots have shown there are issues to be addressed, and as universal credit is rolled out, we will consider the experience of single household payments and allow direct individual payments if that's what people want.
Significant investment in both social care and childcare is needed if parties' commitments to gender equality are to be met. How would you pay for this investment in care?
Our plan to make taxes fairer will ensure that low earners are protected. We'll also ensure that George Osborne's tax cut for the wealthiest is blocked, and that will allow us to raise additional revenue for our public services. We believe that investing in better early years education, improved social care services and supporting carers is not just good for our society, but it will also help us grow our economy. The SNP has made clear that in the next Parliament, our most important, most transformative infrastructure investment will be the expansion of early learning and childcare. By 2021, we will almost double the availability of free childcare to 30 hours a week for all 3- and 4-year-olds and vulnerable 2-year-olds. To meet the challenge of an ageing population, an additional £1.3 billion will be invested in our health and social care partnerships to build up social care capacity. We'll also continue to protect free personal and nursing care for the elderly and look at an extension to those under 65 with a diagnosis of dementia. To make charges for social care fairer, we've already invested £6 million to increase the income threshold at which someone becomes liable for charges, and will continue to take action to make the system fairer. Scotland's carers, the majority of whom are women, make an invaluable contribution to our society, and we believe that they should be properly supported in this role. That's why we'll also introduce a new national allowance for kinship care and foster care, as well as equalising the carers allowance with job seekers allowance.
Abortion law is also being devolved. Women in Scotland can still be prosecuted for having an abortion. Would you support decriminalising abortion?
It's important that a woman's right to abortion is protected. The SNP have no plans to change the law on abortion. We will not lower the current time limits. And Shona Robison has written to women's groups confirming that position.
Who is your feminist icon?
My feminist icon, out of many, is Alice Walker, one of my favourite writers and a great feminist.
To find out more about why gender matters in the Scottish Parliament elections, visit holyrood.engender.org.uk.